I think we all got here for some reason. Some people got here to walk on tight ropes across canyons, and some of us got here to enjoy it.
Well, I call it God's country, as a lot of other people do. But there's just something magical about that gorge.
It draws people from all over the world. The people who live in this county and in Habersham County, it's been a part of their lives since they were children.
Talk about the gorge, and if you kept up with anything, you'll say, yeah, Karl Wallenda walked across the gorge.
My name is Gail, and I'm the head of the committee that's working to bring Nik Wallenda to Rabun County to celebrate the anniversary of his great-grandfather's skywalk across Tallulah Gorge.
Oh, I think it's a great idea myself. I think it shows a lot of interest in the area, and I think it shows a lot of interest in the Wallendas.
I think every time that Nik does something, that people think about this.
Well, we first heard about the Wallenda situation becoming a reality. A girl who grew up in this community was Peggy Childs. She had met the Wallenda family down in Florida. She had the idea that in order for Tallulah to get some special attention, if she could get Mr. Wallenda to come and walk the gorge, that would do wonders for this part of the country.
Tallulah Gorge is actually the deepest gorge east of the Mississippi, and is part of the reason that Rabun County was not settled as early as some other parts of the state of Georgia.
My dad had him up for lunch at the Dillard house. They were sitting on the front porch of the old rock house, and Mr. Wallenda really liked that. It reminded him, I think, parts of Austria.
A group of fellows came in and put the cable across the gorge.
They let me go up on the platform. Once I got out just to the edge, to where I could just barely peek over, I had to grab the rails. I wasn't about to step out over where it drops off, because as you can see, it's a sheer 750-foot drop.
The first walk by Nik's great-grandfather in 1970 is a memory that many local people hold dear.
And that did take place at Tallulah Falls Gorge on July the 18th, 1970.
The atmosphere, though, was probably the biggest thing that ever happened.
The governor was here, Governor Lester Maddox.
People were walking for 2 or 3 miles, but you could come down into the woods to where you could see him like we did. We found a gap through the trees that we could see him coming all the way across.
I had the privilege of having the invocation for that day.
He started over there on a platform.
Everybody was holding their breath, of course, great anticipation. Started walking across, and of course you could hear people saying, he's out on the cable now.
After walking halfway across, he stops, gets down, and does a handstand.
When he stood on his head, everything was very quiet.
It's hard for anybody to stand on their head, let alone if you're 65 years old, and he did 2 of those.
And he's the one that announced that he would stand on his head for the fellas in Vietnam. He got to the end of the way when he stepped up on the catwalk. His wife was there, had him a martini.
The Wallenda Walk was, the biggest thing that had happened in these mountains for quite a while.
Been a lot of interest in it ever since it happened. And now it looks like we might well be on the way to having Karl Wallenda kinfolks walk across again.
It's an opportunity to remember something important in our history, and it's a chance for us to help him celebrate his great-grandfather and his family traditions.
To walk the same place that his great-grandfather did, I think it would mean a lot to him, and I think his great-grandfather watching over him would be proud for him to do that.
A lot of people here watched when he walked Niagara Falls, and then again when he walked the Grand Canyon. And the conversation was about how he was so family-oriented, and he was a very God-fearing person. That's the priority in his life.
He felt his presence when he was on the wire, and if he could feel that presence at Niagara Falls, my goodness, he's going to feel like he's sitting on his shoulder when he comes to Rabun County.